Welcome to the 2021 Autocar Awards, sponsored by Britishvolt. We're here at the historic Brooklands Museum to celebrate some of the best cars made in the past 12 months. And this is what makes the Autocar Awards different. Also celebrate the people behind them, because it takes great people to make great cars. Let's meet our first set of winners. Autocar invented the road test in the 1920s. The very first was an Austin 7 Gordon, England Sunshine Saloon, tested in part right here at Brooklands. And since then, more than 5,500 cars have been through the Autocar road test mill, which ends with a verdict that points buyers towards the greatest cars on sale today. This year, only 3 cars have achieved the coveted 5-star verdict. And joining me to talk about them is road tester Richard Lane. Richard, hello.
Hello, Matt.
Richard, tell me what the 3 cars are.
Well, this year it is a truly spectacular roster. We've got the Porsche-Taycan, the toyota-gr-yaris and the Alpina B3 Touring.
First of all, tell me about the Alpina.
Well, it looks like a 3 Series, but as ever with Alpina, the devil is in the detail. And we talk a lot about fitness for purpose on the road test desk, and this car turns that into an art form. Luxury, practicality, it's got it all: ride, dynamic prowess, and also that new M Division engine.
I like this fitness for purpose mantra. So what is the Taycan's purpose and how fit is it?
Well, you think Porsche, you think driver's car, and I think with the Taycan, Porsche has demonstrated that electric cars can be genuinely rewarding and satisfying to drive. You can feel that detail in the steering, the ride quality, the control and the balance of the thing. It really is a stunning bit of kit, and of course, it's wonderful to use every day as well.
And finally then, the GR-Yaris, which is a giggle, right?
We absolutely love this car. It is a proper little rally refugee. You just get in and the devil's horns sprout out of your forehead. And the bigger picture, of course, is that Toyota is demonstrating that it's still got a huge appetite for building the kind of accessible cars that ordinary people love to drive.
The Mundy Award for Engineering invokes the name of Harry Mundy, a brilliant engineer who designed much of the Lotus twin-cam engine, BRM's iconic V16 and Jaguar's amazingly smooth V12. He also served as Autocar's technical editor for 8 years.
Our winner in 2021 is Aston Martin's chief engineer, Matt Becker. Matt has had a huge impact since he arrived at Aston Martin 7 years ago, following a stellar career at Lotus. Since his arrival, Matt has given Astons the engaging dynamics to match their jaw-dropping looks. His crowning achievement has perhaps been the DBX, an SUV that really does handle like a sports car. Our congratulations to Matt. Recently, I caught up with him.
So Matt, congratulations. This award is not just for the DBX, but DBX is a broad product for you and for Aston Martin as well.
Thank you. I'm absolutely honoured to win this award. I mean, I started in this career probably from about the age of 5 years old. I used to spend a lot of time driving in Lotuses with my father. Learning the art of dynamics from a very early age was kind of installed into my brain. I didn't always understand the manoeuvres he was making in the car, but as time went on and he explained things and I got to do it for myself, I started to understand what dynamics was. And this award is fantastic. I'm really, really pleased to receive such a prestigious award.
Great design brings good cars to a much wider audience, and our Design Hero Award recognises an individual who has made that principle work brilliantly.
Our design hero for 2021 is Klaus Buser. His varied role has seen him oversee this generation of Alfa Romeos, Fiats and Maseratis, some of the best looking cars on sale. In the past 12 months, he's been behind the third coming of the Fiat 500 in its stylish and successful switch to being an electric car, and the Maserati MC20 sports car, the first of a new era of very exciting Maseratis. Well done, Klaus.
Now it's time for our Lifetime Achievement Award, and it's unexpectedly sad this year in that it is posthumously awarded to Richard Parry-Jones. Steve Cropley, Autocar's Editor-in-Chief, is joining me. Steve, tell me about Richard.
It is, as you say, it's a terribly sad thing. Most people know by now that Richard was killed in a freak accident on his farm just a few weeks ago. He was, as we all know, the Chief Technical Officer of Ford and the Vice President in charge of product development, so he was a really important man. And of course, as a young engineer, he and a few of his colleagues got very, very sick of their cars always being criticised for poor dynamics. They were impressive cars, but they didn't go around corners very well. And he knew they could do better. And because he was a person that could convince people and explain things brilliantly, he explained it to the management, and he explained it to the likes of us, me and you. And the upshot was that he was given the budget and the opportunity to change the cars at Ford. And of course what happened then was that because Ford did so well, all the rest of the industry knew that they were going to have to improve too, the Opels, the Renaults, those sorts of people. And the upshot was that this team at Ford brought about an extraordinary improvement in the way cars in Europe, affordable cars in Europe, drove. So it was a fantastic achievement. And of course he was a lovely guy, and we all enjoyed driving with him, and it's a shocking tragedy. But the great thing is that his legacy is still obvious in a car like this, the Mondeo, 30 years later, and in all its competitors. And we're proud to have known him.
And now for some serious performance cars, because what are cars for if not for driving? Every year Autocar runs 2 drivers' car competitions. One is at the more affordable end of the scale. We call it Britain's best affordable driver's car. Unsurprisingly, it's for cars of less than £40,000 and front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. It doesn't matter, as long as the price is right, they can go in. This year that competition was won by the toyota-gr-yaris. Matt Saunders, why was that?
Well, it was just a deliciously unexpected champion. It came from nowhere. I think we all loved the idea of it, a sort of a rally homologation special that wasn't quite, and then from a brand that you don't maybe associate with these sorts of cars. But we did it all on Exmoor. We had 6 judges. They're a pretty hard bunch to impress. I don't sort of routinely give out perfect scores, but 3 out of 6 gave it 24 out of 25, which is, almost unknown, I would think, in these things. And it's just the sort of car that works so well on British roads, doesn't it? Because it's small and fast and engaging, but also, really stable and suited to just sort of being enjoyed at a sort of a respectable but enthusiastic clip on a B road.
So by winning that, the Toyota-gr-yaris gets its place in our big overall Britain's Best Drivers' Car contest, which we run every autumn. And this year, it was won by the other car you see behind me, the Ariel Atom 4. Storm, why do we like this car so much that we've made it Britain's Best Drivers' Car twice in a row?
Well, I think we discovered a lot about the Atom this year at Castle Combe that maybe we didn't see 12 months before at Anglesey, because the conditions were so different. So at Anglesey we had glorious sunshine, and it impressed us just because it was so fast and visceral and involving in a different way. And this year at Castle Combe it was soaking wet, and not at all the conditions you would expect something small and light to really come through and impress with, because it's just not a practical car, is it? It's not a car you would pick to drive on a bad day, and if it was mine I wouldn't. But the thing is, you can still enjoy all of the detail things that it does so well, all of the tactile feedback and just the compactness of it, and the immediacy of it, and the simplicity of it. You can just enjoy all of that on a really cold, nasty, wet day in Wiltshire at Castle Combe or near it, in weather that you wouldn't pick for it, and you can have a ball. And I think that says a lot about how thoroughly engineered that car is.
So there you have it, the Toyota-gr-yaris and Ariel Atom 4, only the 3rd car in this competition's more than 30-year history to come back and defend its title. They are the 2 best drivers' cars we've driven this year. Now, we're fans of motorsport here at Autocar, hence our sponsorship of the British Touring Car Championship. But from the oldest motorsport venue in the world to one of the newest motorsports in the world for this year's motorsport hero, who is Alejandro Agag. Now, James Atwood, he is behind not 1 but 2 revolutionary championships, isn't he?
Absolutely. He first launched Formula E, an electric motorsport single-seater championship, and it was at a time when the technology wasn't really there, and many thought it might not last, but he's actually grown into something that's attracted some of the world's biggest car manufacturers. And he's now launched Extreme E, which is a series for off-road electric SUVs, that race in remote locations, and it's also about highlighting sort of climate change and environmental issues, which is another really bold step for motorsport.
Thank you. And Alejandro, congratulations on being this year's Autocar Motorsport Hero. Now it's time to celebrate Autocar's outstanding UK leaders. People who've used their exceptional skills to motivate their employees and improve the fortunes of their cars and companies. The first of those is Stellantis' Alison Jones, Regional Country Manager and Vice President for the UK for the following brands: deep breath, Peugeot, Citroën, DS, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Abarth and Jeep in the UK. You'll remember Alison as the overall winner in our Great Women in the British Car Industry initiative we ran last summer, since when she has added those former FCA brands to her existing PSA ones, seen the company through the worst of the pandemic, and it comes out the other side well placed to capitalise on the increase in electrification. Steve Cropley caught up with her.
Thank you. I'm delighted to accept the award. I'm really proud. It's great what a year we've had, what 2 years we've had since I started in this role, so I was delighted to receive it and I'm very proud. Thank you.
Our second outstanding UK leader is Arnold Clark's Chief Executive and Group Managing Director, Eddie Hawthorne. Arnold Clark is one of the UK's largest dealership groups and also its most profitable, with outstanding margins as a result of Eddie's leadership.
It's been an incredibly tough year for everyone. So to emerge with some recognition from a very respected title such as Autocar is an incredible honour. But while I'm personally honoured to have my name attributed to the award, it's not for me, it's for the Arnold Clark staff, because without the Arnold Clark staff we would not have been able to get through this year. Thank you to Autocar, and above all, thank you to all my staff at Arnold Clark, as I'm delighted to accept this award on your behalf. Thank you very much.
Innovation has always been at the heart of UK industry, and the automotive industry is going through change in a rate rarely seen before, with electrification and driver assistance systems and autonomy. But even so, nothing could prepare it for what the last year had to throw at it. This year's Innovation Award goes to the Bentley Crisis Management Team for its response to the pandemic. And James Atwood is here to tell me a bit more how Bentley coped.
Well, like all the car firms, at the start of the pandemic, Bentley had to shut down production for about 7 weeks, I believe, and then they had to work out how they could start production again during the pandemic. So they went around and they put all the safety measures in place. They developed around, I think it's about 250 safety measures to kind of improve the stuff around their plant. They had Adrian Hallmark, the CEO, going around mapping out one-way systems and helping develop that. And they also set up they started doing employee testing, so they did about 15,000 COVID tests to date so far. And they've updated which tests they're using to get rapid results. They're making all their employees kind of self-assess themselves in the morning. Any symptoms, they're kind of dealing with them. And they've kind of also effectively set up their own test and trace system, basically.
And am I right in thinking they've effectively created their own test and trace app?
Absolutely, they've created their own app so that all the employees can go on in the morning and monitor sort of how they're feeling, check their symptoms, and then they can use that to basically track back where the cases are. And as part of this, they've also extended it out to the wide community. So they're testing any Bentley employee who's got a vulnerable partner or someone who works for the NHS. They're testing them as well, and they're doing this as part of an effort to obviously keep production running at a point where they're achieving record sales, but also just to make sure that they're protecting both their employees and the wide community.
Thank you. And so this year's Innovation Award goes to the Bentley Crisis Management Team. Now it's time for our Reader's Champion Award. Now, I don't know about you, but I spend too much time thinking about my dream garage, way too much time. So we asked you if you would do the same thing. We gave you a fantasy budget of £100,000 and asked you to come up with 3 cars: a daily driver for around £30,000, a new fun car for around £50,000, and then a wild card, new or used, for around £20,000. And these are the 3 you came up with. A Volkswagen Golf, this one is a GTI as your daily driver, for £50,000 fun, an Alpine A110, and then as the wild card, new or used, you picked a classic Land Rover-Defender by answering in your thousands. And they are the 3 unusual but very worthy winners of 2021's Reader's Champion Award. And now it's time for our Editor's Award, and appropriately, here's our editor, Mark Tishaw. Mark, this year we return to the world of motorsport.
We do, and our winner is the 7-time Formula One World Champion Mercedes-AMG's Sir Lewis Hamilton.
So why Sir Lewis?
Two reasons. There's Lewis the man and Lewis the racer. The racer first, I mean, it's 7 world titles. He's the most successful Formula One driver in history. But it's not just the 96 poles, 99 wins at the time as we speak. It's the way he wins clean. Lewis just is never embroiled in any kind of controversy. He races hard, but he races fair, and he wins the right way, and he wins all the time. For that reason, he's one of the sport's greatest ever.
And what about Hamilton the man?
Well, this is perhaps why it's an Editor's Award, in addition to perhaps a Motorsport Award and a bigger award off the back of it. It's because Hamilton is an activist now. He speaks his mind. He's led the fight against racism, not just in Formula One, but perhaps in global sport as well. He's not only speaking about racism, but environmental issues, animal rights issues, and human rights issues. And in a sport like F1, people rarely stick their head up above the parapet and speak on issues like that. And it's rare these days for sports people to want to speak their mind with their £1 million endorsements, fear of losing sponsorship and offending or saying the wrong thing. So Lewis is not one of those people. He really speaks his mind, and he's a really powerful, inspiring figure. He's also now backing his impressive words with actions as well. He's launched the Hamilton Commission with the Royal Academy of Engineering, and it's designed to get people from more diverse and less privileged backgrounds into engineering and motorsport engineering, which has forever been associated with wealthier white people.
Now, if you have been spending a bit more time at home during the past year, you're not alone. And if you spent some of that time looking at classified car adverts, well, you're also not alone. We've been doing it here as well at Autocar. So recently we published a feature where Autocar's writers nominated their dream lockdown car. We had a little internal competition, and the choice of Matt Saunders, who's standing next to me, came out on top. It is the BMW M5 of E39 vintage. Matt, why is that?
So there are lots of reasons you could pick one. I mean, my thinking is twofold. First of all, there are objective reasons, I suppose, like the fact that it's a kind of a last of a breed super saloon. It was the last M5 got a manual gearbox. It was the first one that got a V8 engine. It's got a real sort of urgent, modern feeling performance level. It's, you know, it doesn't feel like it's kind of taken any prisoners. It's a proper fast car, but it's also got a certain old school charm to it that maybe modern super saloons don't generally have, and modern M cars definitely don't have. It's usable and it's pretty affordable. You can pick one up for probably less than £20,000, I would think. And then there are personal reasons, because it was just the big M car that was around and everybody was daydreaming about when I started as a work experience kid at Autocar nearly 20 years ago. So I remember getting nowhere near it because, you know, legions of more important people were in a queue to drive one. But just hearing the thing and seeing the thing and then seeing the pictures in the magazine, it just sticks in your head, doesn't it? And I think when we're older and we have a chance and maybe a bit more freedom and a bit more budget to revisit those cars that mean something to us, I think those memories and those impressions, when you're sort of in your early 20s, I think they count for quite a lot. So yeah, that's kind of why it's my used car hero.
Now it's time for our two biggest awards, the Sturmey Award and the Issigonis Trophy. Let's start with the Sturmey Award. Mark, tell us who this is named after and why it's so important to us.
The Sturmey Award is named after Henry Sturmey, the man who invented Autocar back in 1895, when there were fewer than 100 cars on the road. He was a visionary, and today's Sturmey Award recognises the individual who has had the greatest impact on bringing higher technical standards to their company.
Thanks. And it's a diverse award, isn't it? We've had winners such as Tesla, Ariel's boss Simon Saunders, who's behind the Atom you see there, and Laurens van den Akker, who's Renault's design chief. And it's another interesting winner this year, isn't it? Steve, tell us who it is.
Our winner this year is Thomas Ingenlath, who is the CEO of Polestar. Fascinating guy. He has built a car company in effect in his own image. He's used a great deal of innovation to build not just a green car company, but a company which is green in every single aspect. So the manufacturing, the part sourcing, just everything is green, and he's doing it with a kind of decisiveness that is remarkable.
And recently I told Thomas the good news.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a huge honor to accept the Sturmey Award, both on a personal level and on behalf of my company Polestar. I'm humbled to receive this award from a publication as respected as Autocar. Growing up, there were expectations on me studying law or medicine, but I decided to go a different way and to study design. Not going for the easy option was the start of the best adventure ever. I joined Škoda when the direction of the brand was yet to be shaped, left the VW group for Volvo when Volvo's future was still far from written, and then moved to Polestar when the route to electrification was nowhere near as clear as it is today. So, I am delighted and honored to accept this award on behalf of all the Polestar employees, and I promise to continue taking the challenging route and drive change in our fantastic industry.
And now for the big one, the Issigonis Trophy. Steve, give us the background to this one.
Well, the Issigonis Award is our biggest award of the year. It invokes the name of one of the world's car heroes, Sir Alec Issigonis, who invented the Mini and lots of other wonderful pieces of engineering. And of course, he was an innovator. He was one of the people who's known even to the other heroes of automobile history.
Thanks. Mark, tell us the winner.
It's Hyundai Motor Group's Yu-Sun Chung. He is the quiet visionary and leader of one of the automotive industry's greatest success stories of the past decade. A decade ago, Hyundai was not the biggest of global car makers, but now it absolutely is. They're producing more great-looking cars that are really high quality in more segments and remaining great value. They're also then leading the conversation around technology shifts, around electrification and of course hydrogen, and all this is backed up as well by an incredibly exciting motorsport program and the N range of cars, and it's all down to Mr. Chung's leadership and vision.
And here is a very special video from Mr. Chung.
Good day, friends and colleagues. It's a true honor to receive this award today. Autocar is the industry's leading channel for respected and trusted news. I feel doubly honored to receive the Issigonis Trophy. Sir Alec Issigonis and his pioneering innovations, chiefly the Mini, have long been a real source of inspiration for us at Hyundai Motor Group. I want to thank all my colleagues today for their contribution is securing this prestigious award. This accolade will further animate our commitment to serving humanity through sustainable and customer-centric mobility solutions. The global auto industry is going through a dramatic upheaval from digitalization, electrification, and so much more. At the same time, it faces the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite the difficulties, Hyundai Motor Group is spearheading a paradigm shift in our industry. We have introduced highly advanced electric vehicles, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6. They both use our dedicated EV platform, the eGMP, or Electric Global Modular Platform. On hydrogen technology, we have launched the H2 Hyundai Motor Group's dedicated fuel cell system brand. We are also investing heavily in R&D and partnerships for the development of hydrogen technology. The purpose is to expand the application of our fuel cell systems, including for areas beyond mobility. Furthermore, we are deploying our resources and capital into future industries, especially autonomous driving, connectivity, urban air mobility, and robotics. I want to emphasize that what lies at the heart of our efforts is our single-minded focus on serving and empowering our customers. Without exaggeration, customers are the only reason for Hyundai's existence. Through a considered and methodical approach, we will create more opportunities and oil the wheel of progress for humanity. The global pandemic has severely restricted our movement and freedoms, but I'm confident we will rise above our challenges and enjoy the infinite beauties of our wonderful world again. So let me wish you and your loved ones great health and happiness. On behalf of our Hyundai Motor Group employees, I convey our deepest appreciation to Autocar for this important award. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and a huge thank you to our sponsors, British Volt, who are destined to play a big part in the UK motor industry as we move into the electrification era. Now, there's going to be a bumper issue of Autocar on sale on June the 9th with a full story on all of our winners. So join us for that, and join us for a podcast at the same time too. Until then, see you next time.